Good morning everyone. Today we will study the fifth chapter when people rebel 1857 and after. Then what is the importance of 1857 in India, in the history of India? This is very important date, year 1857, the revolt of 1857 occurring. People began to revolt against the Britishers here. Okay, 1857 revolt is also known as the revolt of independence or the first war of independence. What made the people to revolt against the Britishers? That is what in this chapter we are going to study. So, what policies Britishers made here annoyed the Indians and they started revolting against them. In the previous chapters, you have looked at the policies of East India Company and how they affected on the people. Now we know that about the Indigo rebellion, etc. How people revolted, what made the people revolt against the Britishers? Because of the policies adopted by the Britishers, which was also troubling the peasants and common men also. Now, not only the common people here, the kings, queens, peasants, landlords, tribal soldiers, and all were affected in a different ways. Not only about the farmers, in the case of peasants, and tribal people also were evicted from their natural home forests, or the landlords also, they were also troubled. The kings and queens or the native rulers also were troubled by the different types of policies of the Britishers or the English East India Company. So you have also seen that how people resisted the policies and the actions, and they harm the interest or go against their sentiments also. In the especially in the military also, we are going to study in this class, in this chapter, about the army also, sepoys or the Indian army also, who Indian soldiers who joined in the British army were also were against the policies adopted by the Britishers because their religious sentiments were hurt here. So how the Nawabs or the rulers lose their power also. Since the mid 18th century, we know that Nawabs and Rajas, they had been seen as their power erode. They understood that they are losing their power because when the Britishers are gaining in power, the Nawabs or the local rulers or the Rajas of our country or our smaller kingdoms, even they had existed here, all losing their power. So gradually they were also losing their authority and respect or honor. The residents have been stationed in many of the courts that already we have studied that the company sent one resident who was the official authority of British or East India Company wanted to be reside in the court of the Nawab. So the freedom of the rulers were reduced there. Here the resident is controlling even the ruler also, so that the rulers lost their power and they had no freedom also. Their armed forces were disbanded and the rulers, those who had the armed forces or army, was disbanded and it was divided and even sent out of the court also. So their revenues and territories were taken away by step stages. The company had taken away the revenue and also the territories of the Nawabs here. Many ruling families tried to negotiate with the company to protect their interest, but it was not listening by the company also. We can say, for example, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, and she had no natural hair. We know that the Britishers made such policies of if the ruler does not have a natural heir to the throne, the territory or the kingdom to be handed over to the company or English East India Company. That means they lost their kingdom, the ruler lost their kingdom. So that is best example. We can say Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, she wanted the company to recognize her adopted son as the heir to the kingdom or to the throne. When her husband was died and she adopted a son, and she declared that her adopted son would be the next heir to the throne. but the company or the Britishers did not accept this. In the case of Nana Sahib also, he was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II also. This also was the similar case where the Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. He also pleaded that he also to be given authority to rule his father's kingdom, or also father's pension was also after the death of Bajirao II, his pension also his adopted son Nana Sahib demanded, but the Britishers did not listen his request also. So the company was confident of its superiority and military power, so turned down this pleas whatever the requests of the Indian rulers were not listened by the company, because company was very confident that they are gaining superiority and military powers, so that with their military strength and power they can suppress all such kind of revolts of the people. Another important place was kingdom was Awadh. This was also the last territories to be annexed with the British Empire or the English East India Company. In 1801, a subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, and in 1856 it was taken over also. So Governor General Dalhousie declared that the territory was being misgoverned and the British rule was needed to ensure proper administration. How the Britishers captured Awadh? They were telling that the Governor General was Dalhousie. He declared that the administration of Awadh is not going on properly. So the government, the Nawab is misgoverning the territory of Awadh. So that they declared that Britishers declared that for the best or the administration or proper administration, they are liberating the people of Awadh from Nawab, and so that was the declaration of made by the Governor General during that period. Then Awadh was also annexed with the English East India Company. So the company even began to plan how to bring Mughal dynasty to an end. Now one by one territories they are capturing. Finally they were thinking that how the Mughal Empire should be ended or stopped. The name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. When company began to mint coins in India, they removed the name of the Mughal emperor from the coins. Also in 1849, the Governor General Dalhousie announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, he was known as the last Mughal emperor, and after death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the family of the kings would be shifted out of the Red Fort. We know that Red Fort was the official residence of the Mughal Empire or emperors and their family. So the family of the Mughal emperor will be shifted out of Red Fort. They have no right in a Red Fort also. Then they will be given another place in Delhi to reside in. In 1856, Governor General Canning, who was the Governor General, who was known Lord Canning, he decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king. After the death of him, no one will be, and there will be no descendants would be recognized as the kings. Bahadur Shah Zafar will be the last emperor, Mughal empire. After that, all the descendants or their family members would be just called as princes only, not the kings. Okay, they cannot be recognized as the kings. So how the peasants and sepoys of this region revolted against the Britishers in the countryside, that means in the villages or the rural areas, peasants, farmers and zemindars also. Zemindars are the rich landlords also. They resented the high taxes and the rigid methods of revenue collection. Not only the peasants and even the zemindars also were very unhappy how the stiff or inflexible methods the company used for collection of revenue, because the revenue was collected from the peasants and even from the zemindars also. Many of them who failed to pay back their loans to the money lenders and gradually lost their lands they had tilled for generations. Some of the peasants, we know that for many generations they were cultivating the same land, but when they had taken a loan from the money lenders, they were unable to pay back their loans to the money lenders. They lost their lands also, but they were cultivating or tilling this land for many generations. They lost their lands because of the high rate of taxes or revenue company collected. They were unable to pay back their loans. They lost the lands also. Indian sepoys, the soldiers, sepoys or the soldiers who were employed in the company also had reasons for the discontent. Those who were also even soldiers who were appointed in the or joined in the British army also were dissatisfied because they were unhappy about their payment allowances and conditions of service also, because they were considered as inferiors only. Indian soldiers were not given any higher ranks in the British army also. And what were the payment also, salary or wages also was very lower for the Indian soldiers, so they were also unhappy and moreover violated their religious sensibilities and beliefs. Another important point, their religious sentiments were hurt. We know that during that period our Indian traditions, even the Muslims and Hindus who joined in the military, all were very much worried about their religious sentiments. We know that many people in the country believed that if they crossed the sea, that means that traveling by the sea was not permitted for the Hindus. So especially in 1824 the sepoys were told to go to Burma by the sea route to fight for the company. Burma, they had to go by the sea road. They refused to follow the order because they agreed to go by the land road, but the company ordered them to go by sea road. As per we know, the Indian people felt that it is not as per their religious traditions, they cannot cross the sea. So the religious sentiments were hurt there. So those who refused to go by the sea were severely punished, and the issue was not died down there. In 1856 the company passed a new law which stated that every new person who took up the employment in the company's army had to agree to serve overseas if required. So that after in 1856 the company made a new order, who are newly joining in the company's army, they had to follow the laws or rules of the company. That means including traveling overseas. If whenever their service is needed other countries, they had to travel by the sea also. So sepoys also reacted to what is happening in the countryside, in the villages side also. Many of them were peasants and also had families living in the villages. So the anger of the peasants quickly spread among the sepoys also. So how the sepoys or the Indian soldiers and the peasants and zemindars, everyone was disappointed and they were all resented or unhappy with the policies of the company. So they all started revolting against the British. Not only the peasants, not only the common people, not only the zemindars, everyone. So how was the response of these reforms? How was the Britishers making new law? That all we will study in the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.